All right, guys, let me get the countdown timer up. We'll get going as everybody gets to know what's going on. Save. Let's bring that in. Where is my countdown timer? There we go. There's the countdown timer. I hope everybody's doing good today. Let's get this started. All right, we got 2 minutes till we get going here. We're going to be rocking and rolling. Let's see if I can get this up on my site, just in case we get somebody from chat in here. As always, if you don't mind hitting thumbs up, letting me know you're here. And then also, if you don't mind a comment, that lets me know that everybody's getting in here and we are actually going live, which is awesome. So everybody's coming in. I see some thumbs up. I see some people coming in. I want to go ahead and get my videos up so I can make sure that if we get some scammers in here, we can get rid of those people. That's the whole key, right? Protection. Hey, there we go. Beth Ann's here. Thomas. Hey, Levi. Great to see. Stefan Liftoff. Punkabilly Betty. Good morning. When did the time change? Oh man, Beth Ann, good call. The time change this weekend. Ooh, that is a difficult one. Okay, Christoph, everybody's coming in. Ostin, good to see you. Hey, everybody's coming in. This is great. Let's see if we're working here. I got this going, so let's see. Okay, cool. And I got the chat working, so 47 seconds, we'll get going. Just got a haircut. I'm ready to go. Got a haircut. Ready to rock. Alex, good to see you. Athena, good to see you. My record was supposed to be here Tuesday. Christopher, I love it. So we're good. We're getting ready to get those questions ready to go. Yeah, it did. It changed. The time changed. Beth says, when the time changed? It changed this weekend, Saturday night, which really messed up. You guys don't mind hitting the thumbs up. That hits the algorithm. Just click that little like button, and that lets everybody, all of our subscribers know. YouTube likes to see that. I'm learning the little things you got to do. The email just came out, so it's good. So we'll start getting people back rocking and rolling here and get going. Levi says, my remarkable pin. I think we're ready. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it today. I like it. The back of the remarkable pin comes off. You know, mine hasn't come off yet. Oh, off your backpack. I thought you were saying off the back here. I know some people had that fall off. It sticks pretty good. I was carrying it out today when I got my haircut. I was working on some systems today, and I was working a little bit with it. I tend to carry this more than my paper. The paper I have up here on the desk, right? And that's like my to-dos. I got a light working today. I'm working on my lighting. and my camera setups. Richard West is here. Good to see you. Graham, good to see you from Bermuda. I love it. I know. Thomas, you got your Onyx BOOX Note Air. How do you like it? You see when I say it's a little complicated? It's a great device, but it's a little complicated, right? That's the thing. And Beth Ann got it. I like it more than the Lumi, but the pin sucks. I told you that pin is horrible. Why they made that expensive, awesome product. They made it look so good, and then they made it so cheap. Come on, Onyx. Make a great stylus for the Note Air. But, you know, you can use the Stadler and the other styluses. That's the key thing. I got a hairdresser. What was that? Hold on, I got to see this. Hairdresser's closed in Belgium. So yeah, we were able to go, but we got to wear a mask. I left my mask down in the car. So that's the thing. And right after this, I'm going to my therapeutic massage. I do a massage every couple weeks for golf, because I play golf almost every day, and I got to crank out my back. So we got a big match this weekend. So I'm heading in for 90 minutes. As soon as we get done with this, I'm shooting right over there. We are working. Okay, let's get to this. The Lammy, but the pin sucks. I would agree. Why am I getting the spinning dial of death? Okay, there we go. It's working. VM says the contrast has improved a bit on the paper. VM, we should be getting a paper update soon, and that's Beth Ann's asking. I thought we'd have it by now. They have not reached out to me. They said they'll give me a couple days in advance so that we can do a video on it, but I know it's coming soon. So that will be coming soon. Hola from Spain, Carlos. Great to see that. Are we discussing the U.S. election? Stephen, no, we are not discussing the U.S. election. I am not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I did have somebody ask me if I supported Black Lives Matter once, and I gave my standard issue that my stuff is non-political. Like, if you guys go fight for those issues, it's totally cool, but I do not want politics involved here. There's plenty of other places to get politics, right? But we're not going to get it here. This is about energy and focus on what we can control. I don't think we can control anything with that politics stuff and all those movements and stuff. But one thing here, we're going to control what we can control, and you can have your opinion, whatever that is. And we'll love you, respect you, but we want to keep this place as a place away from all of that noise. As Johnny Carson, my mentor, said, he just didn't want to influence the elections, and that was the whole key. We want to stay away from that craziness. I have no other way to put it, craziness. But at the end of the day, the truth is, and this is just between us and everybody on YouTube, right? I mean, there's plenty of people listening. Follow the money. At the end of the day, Democrats, Republicans, whoever they are, they all want to generate revenue, and everybody wants prosperity. So you're not going to see massive, massive changes in any way, whoever it is. So focus on what you can control, and that's what you can do. Yeah, Kanye, 57,000 people voted for Kanye. Me, just about as JB for president. I wouldn't want that job. You wouldn't want me. I wouldn't want that job. I'd be too honest. I wouldn't know how to handle it. I'd have to lie. I couldn't do that. I'd have to be political. I am the most non-political person ever. I don't know how to do it. I just love people, helping people. And the truth is, I don't even like people. Most people, they drive me nuts. I like to be in my cave, but I love the right people, if that makes sense. And I just want to help people that want help and want to have good energy. That's what it's about. But anyways, that's good. I can beat Kanye. I'm on it. I'm going to beat Kanye. No, I have nothing to do with that. Let's get into tech stuff, guys. So what are you thinking? Remarkable is delivering. People are getting their Note Airs. Thomas said, and I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if you want to go by Tomas or Thomas. I play golf with Tomas Fleshman. He's from the Czech Republic. He's an ex-hockey player, 14 years in the NHL. We play a lot of golf together. And he goes by Thomas Fleshman. And then there's Tomas Fleshman. Then there's Thomas, which a lot of my friends go by. So understanding which one you go by is sometimes difficult with the old Thomas name. Is it Tomas, or do you want to be called Thomas? But either way, it's all good. All right, so let's get into devices. We have Remarkable 2s coming. We have Papyrs delivered. We have Note Airs coming. I think everybody's not too excited about the Note Air pin. But we're saying the learning curve isn't too bad on Note Air. It's not bad. It's just a kind of a pain in the rear. Beth Ann is getting an update email on the steps so we can expect it. So as soon as you get the update email, then it's 10 to 14 days. You should be getting the Remarkable 2. By this time next month, I think everybody will be getting it. I have a little move into the Apple world. I am trading in my Apple iPhone 11 Pro, which is here. I am going to go with the iPhone Max is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to be working on, the iPhone Max at 12. So I'll be opening that. I'm going to order it first thing tomorrow morning, just FYI. So we'll be doing some stuff with that. I'm going to be bringing some different stuff to the channel. Okay, cool. Let's get some comments coming in and questions. I got one here. After listening to all the comments, I'm quite sure the RM2 is my choice for Christmas, but my doubt, I'll use it mainly for note-taking and meetings. But how can you search for specific notes, tags, and stuff like that? Well, that's kind of an issue, right? So the key thing with the Remarkable, the key thing is your setup. Okay, so you're not even the Note Air searchable stuff is not that great. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, that they've got searchability. They do, and it does work a little bit, but it's not that great. What I would suggest to you, and I would suggest this for everybody, is that when all these devices, it's about the folder structure. I would really work on organizing your folder structure as much as possible. I would really get organized. That's what I would do, okay? Just organize your folder structure as much as possible. Steven says, so anyways, back to Carlos, I'll finish that. So get your folders organized so that way you can organize your notes that way, and that kind of eliminates the search a little bit. You can also index a little bit with a note on top and say, okay, this is what I've got here. So you can work it. The technology on these things is not the best to search, even though Note Air has some search, but I would definitely work with that. It's not like an Evernote or a OneNote, and I want to caution you about that. It's strictly a paper replacement. I think that's important to understand. Steven says, can you say hi to my son, Nino? Nino, is it Nino or Nino? Nino, I speak Spanish too. So in Spanish, it's Nino, which means son, but it could be Nino. That's cool. He does not believe I'm live with you. Yes, you are. We are live. I'm a little 20-second delay, but I am here, so it's good. He's 10 years old and he loves Ronaldo. So he's a soccer fan. He loves Ronaldo. I am a big James Rodriguez fan because I have an apartment in Ibagué, Colombia. That is where James is from, or James. And he's playing for Everton right now, which is pretty crazy. It's weird to have a gringo be a football fan or soccer fan, especially I played football all my life. But I do follow soccer, and right now I'm following Everton because of James Rodriguez and Jerry Mina is who's on that team. Cool. Now the American pronunciation is fine. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Are there any options for the paper stylus? I cannot find anywhere, and the nibs are sold out everywhere. I'm going to get with them actually this week. That's one of my questions. So the Sony stylus is a special stylus, and there's a lot of products using this. Hey, thanks for that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. So there's a lot of styluses or products that are using this. The Fujitsu Quadernos, the papers are using this, and then obviously the Sony stylus. So the key is just this little thing in here, right? It's a tiny little nib. I mean, look at that thing. It's a tiny, I don't know if that'll focus, but it's tinier than anything else. So I don't know why. And I actually, look, the truth is, and I'm going to tell you about that, if I don't see any replacements coming soon, I'm going to send these to China and have somebody duplicate it and replicate it with a real soft touch like Remarkable. I'm going to send the material from the Remarkable, and I'm going to send the material for this and have it 3D printed. I might even buy my own 3D printer and charge $15 for a box of 10 of them, right? So I may be in business soon. I may be selling stylus nibs for the Sony, and I'm going to get a hold of paper because they might be on that too. They might be on that too already. So that's cool. But yes, no other pins that I know of work, but I'm going to try some Wacom ones. There may be something that might work with it, but this integrates with the machine, the hardware. But I will get back with you on that, Beth Ann. Thank you for that question. So then the ARM updates mail looks like a delay mail in disguise. I haven't seen the ARM update, to be honest with you. I got to look for that. I know there's one coming, so I'll be working on that. Has anyone compared the battery life of the Onyx BOOX Air versus the Remarkable 2? Great email, Christian. The guy that might have done it is Voya at My Deep Guide. He just did a deep review of the Note Air, and I'm not sure if he did a battery. I saw it at the end, but I don't know if he's done the Remarkable 2. I can tell you I screwed up in the video the other day. I screwed up because I took the Note Air not from sleep. I shut it down and restarted it, and I took this from sleep, and I'm getting pounded in the comments. I mean, pounded. Deservedly so. Deservedly so. I should have took them both out of sleep, and the Onyx is not as slow. I would have to guess that the Onyx's battery runs out faster because of the light and all the functionality, where this is just a basic e-ink. And in the other room, I have the Quilla, the gigantic e-ink. That battery lasts 16 hours because e-ink doesn't take that much energy. It's when you start doing all these other things. So I would say that Onyx has to has to run down a little bit quicker. But again, I don't know scientifically, so don't hammer me with that. I'm already getting hammered a lot because I screwed up the video. It happens. Okay, with all these e-ink devices you have gone completely digital. Are there still things you prefer ink and paper for? Great question. Yes, on the golf course, I use paper and ink, or I will use a Rocket book. Those are the things that I primarily do. There aren't many things that I use paper for anymore. That's a great question. I'm trying to think. Is there anything I use paper for? Some guitar notes, sometimes I'll write on paper, but I'm pretty much paperless. I do print some stuff once in a while. This is my new program, and I printed this, and I actually put a note on it. That's just a note, but sometimes I like to look at it, and so I'm building the whole course around this, so I will print paper. I'm not totally paperless, but I'm pretty close to paperless, right? I'm pretty close to paperless, but that's a great question. On the golf course, I would say, but I do have Rocket books that I carry with me, so they're pretty much paperless too, when I'm keeping golf notes, and then I'll take the golf notes, put them in the computer, and then I'll erase them. So I still use Rocket books for that, which is great. All right, awesome. So do we have any questions? Let's keep the questions going. Let's see what we're doing today. We got Tech Talk Live Thursday, having some fun. As always, just covering some things. Things that are going on. Remarkable 2s are delivering. Note Airs are being delivered. I have not ordered the Note 3. I am ordering tomorrow morning. I have 2 phones that I typically use. I am going to take my Pixel and use it for my drone. And I'm going to use this Pixel for my drone that I'm going to start doing some drone shots with. And then I'm going to get the the iPhone 12 Max. When you have all these devices, you're so confused with, what is what. And I still haven't eBayed my stuff. eBayed. VM says Color Ink. I think it's coming. I think we're a year away from Color Ink, but I do think it's coming. I think that's one of the key things people are waiting for, right? Is to wait for that. Is the paper supposed to get pressure sensitivity for artistic sketches? I don't know. It's on their roadmap, but it sure would be nice. There's a couple things that we need to get paper to do. One is be able to use that expandable canvas for artists. I think would be fantastic. I think if they could get the Stylus pressure sensitive for artists, I think this device would be amazing. I think it'd be really, really great. So I think it'd be good. But yeah, we've got to get the Stylus things figured out, and I will let you know if we're going to have a pressure sensitive thing on there. That will help. How long does a nibs last on a remarkable pin? Would I ever need to order more? Austin, yes, you're going to need to order more. I'm a pretty heavy user. I go through them once a month. That's what I do. So I'm using the Stylus, and I usually change them out once a month. Some people file them and make them last a little longer. They like them a little sharp. So there are some little hacks that you can do. You can take a nail file, because one side typically wears down, right? I don't have my good camera here, but one side typically wears down. So if you take a file, you can kind of wear it down and it'll last a little longer. But I get about a month of use out of them. You will have to order some new ones, especially if you start working it more and more. All right, let's keep going. I love this. Where do you get so much disposable income? Okay, so that's a great question. I don't mind explaining how I make money. So 15 years ago, I left corporate. I lost my house and I lost everything. I wrote this book called Get Out Neutral. That is me, that dorky guy. I spent my last $5,000 with an image consultant that said, I need to look like that. True story. Said, JB, you need little glasses. You need a suit. You need to look like that. I spent $40,000, the last amount of money that I'd saved up my entire life on this book. And I went out there and I looked like that. And I went to become Tony Robbins, motivational speaker. And I failed. I failed horribly. Everything collapsed. I lost all my money. We lost our house. It was a disaster. I have no way to put it. I built a website, tried to figure it out. It was a disaster. But what it led me to was I started doing a conference call in the morning, and I searched for morningcoach.com, and I found the URL back in 2005, 2006. I started doing a morning conference call. That conference call led me to a podcast. I'm now on episode 4, almost 4,050. I believe I record that tomorrow. And I've done a daily podcast for the last almost 15 years. And from that, I have a membership site called morningcoach.com. This is not a sale. I'm just telling you where I make my money. And back in 2005 to 2009, I didn't make any money. It was horrendous. But I was top 25 on iTunes. I was getting 40,000 downloads a day. Nobody was podcasting then, but I was bigger than Oprah and Ellen. I had one of the top podcasts in the world. But I decided to go behind the wall. And back then I was speaking at Blog World, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, those guys. And I went behind a paywall. And so I had 12,000 people in a website. I believe I had one of the first membership sites. I believe I had one of the first landing pages. And this membership site I put up. And we had 1,231 people come with me out of the 12,000 at $20 a month. It's now $30 a month, and those people have been with me for all those years, most of them. A lot of people are still with me. And now I do masterminds. I got paid to write a book. This book is called The Sacred Six. Hay House actually paid me. So it was years of hell, to be honest with you. And then it finally broke, and I was able to make money. Now, I'm not a zillionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a billionaire, any of that stuff. But my business does well. I've built a lifestyle where I can play golf all the time and serve my clients and my coaching clients. And then I started YouTube a few months ago because I love this stuff, and I'm really nerdy. And now it's making $1,300 a month, and my Amazon's $100 a month. So I'm going to share all that, right? I shared my back end the other day. Why? Because I want to grow a community, and I want to help others be inspired to do the same things, right? And it doesn't mean you have to leave corporate. Corporate's great. It just, there's opportunities out there for you to do other things, and utilizing these tools to get your mind right is where you'll be able to build disposable income. I don't like the guru, get rich quick, all that stuff. I'm not into that. But if you're an expert and you're willing to grind it out and learn new skills like I am with new cameras, I got new cameras and I'm investing in my education and my books, hired a coach. Those are the things that will get you over the top. And believe me, I went from eating ramen noodles to building a life around content. And now I'm moving into the YouTube world and I'm having a blast. And it's because of people like you that ask those questions that allow to share what I've been doing. So anyways, I digress. I don't want to go there. That's not what this is about. But I will share everything. I mean, I have no secrets. I'm a human being that makes a ton of mistakes as anybody else, but I've been able to build a really nice thing because of people like yourself that are willing to contribute and be a part of this. Thanks for asking that. So anyways, there's a cute YouTube that shows you how to make some pins magnetic with an Apple pin sleeve. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like a couple people said that. So I used to have one of those magnetic sleeves you get on Amazon, and you put it over the Apple thing with the old school pins, and you can put that on your devices. It does work. Have you got an update on the LiveScribe? I have not got an update on the LiveScribe. Thank you for offering this. Tomas says, don't know if you covered this. You had asked what devices should you keep. Did you end up making any decisions? No, I haven't, but I'm thinking that I'm going to keep the Papyr, obviously, because I use it for a lot of things. I'm probably going to keep the Lumi over the Note Air. I like the Note Air, but the Lumi, I think, is kind of just a bigger device, and I can do a little bit more with it. And of course, I'm going to keep the Remarkable 2. I like it. So I'm going to sell the Note Air, the Quaderno, and the Supernote. What's crazy about the Supernote, they reached out to me. So now Papyr's reached out to me, Remarkable 2's reached out, and Supernote just reached out to me. That's an interesting company that I haven't spent a lot of time with. They've watched some of my videos, and I have a feeling they're going to send some products to me. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I don't want to discredit them. I'm just not using them, and I'm going to sell my A6X because I have too many devices already. So that's my focus, and I'm glad you asked that. I am falling a little bit in love with the Onyx products. I think they got some good to them. And that's why I think I'm going to keep the Lumi over the Note Air, just because it's a bigger device. I just can't stand the screen protector, and I guess I can use it without it. And I can't stand the styluses they send. Well, I wish they would just get a little bit better. But you can replace those things. And I'm going to do a Note Air versus a Lumi video this week, and then I'm really going to decide, because I got to get that stuff up on eBay. I need to buy some more devices. I got to buy a dang iPhone 12X Plus Max, which is like, with Apple Care, I was looking at the price, $1,400, and if I exchange his phone, it's $1,000 for a phone. That's just the price of a computer. I can't believe I'm spending that money. I'm actually, I'm very frugal, like with my money. I'm not cheap, but I'm frugal, and that's a lot of money to spend on a phone. $1,400 for an iPhone with Apple Care. That's pretty expensive, and I do like the mini one. So, but the cameras are so good on the other one. So that's what's going on. All right. Hey, thanks for the story. Thanks, Steven. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. I do. You know, we're having some fun talking tech, talking everything that I can. I'm going to help you out as much as I can with stuff. Carlos said, you are into productivity company. Do you use a paper agenda, monthly, weekly goals, habits, or sometimes more of a commitment when written after reflection on paper? Makes sense. Do you do it? So, Carlos, I have a new thing that I'm launching December 1st called Get It Done Now. It's actually a system that is built for electronic devices for this, planning your month. It ties into my daily CoachCast. It literally shows so it's already set up. We just got it done. The designer got it back. So 2021 is mapped out. Every single week of content, every single day, what we work on, the life wheel, all the projects. It is a planner. The planner is meant for e-devices, but I just got the print back, and I'll be using Amazon KDP. So yes, there are times when people could use a planner. I'm 51, so I come from old school. I mean, when I went to college, I had a 286. I mean, I got a Commodore 64, then a 286, IBM 286. So I'm from the old school, like libraries and card catalogs. And when we do our research paper, we'd use 3x5 cards. So I like paper, and I'm from the old Covey system where you have that planner, right? So we're making that, but I will be using mine. Well, you can see it right here. So you can kind of see it's right there. That is my Get It Done Now planner, and it's on the paper. So you can kind of see it. I got my Sacred Six. That's a book I wrote. My consistency, all the stuff that I do. There's a purpose behind all of this, and that's what I do. So I actually teach what I use, right? I don't teach anything I don't use. There's a couple rules I have in my life. One of them is I don't experiment with people's money, meaning when I teach my programs, it's stuff that I've done and I've used. And if I'm going to experiment with people's money, like give you a theory about something that I haven't done, I will announce that before I tell you that, because I don't like to take stuff, put it in my mind, and then hype it all up if I haven't done it before. I tried the Rocket Book and not so impressed with the OCR. Remarkable tool in Onyx BOOX Air. OCR seems very good. Is it as good as it seems? Can it handle Swedish letters like your special cases there, Christian? I do not use OCR. My handwriting's not very good. So I don't use it, so it's hard for me to tell you if it's any better. I never used it. I am a pretty fast typer. I taught myself how to type using Marvis Beacon's typing teacher years ago when I was two-finger typing it. And so for me, most of the time when I'm writing my books, I'll write some notes on these tablets because I believe if you write with your hand, you write from your heart. If you type, you're typing from your head. But the majority of books that I write, I'm working on 2 right now, they're all typewritten. I don't handwrite them. Now, my mentor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who passed away, I became friends with before he passed away, which was awesome. Maybe some of you know Dr. Wayne, but he used to write on yellow pads, and he would hand him, great story. He met a woman flying, 50 years ago, flight attendant, and she said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm writing these things." She goes, "Oh, I love to write. I type." And he said, "Well, you want to try it?" And she ended up editing and typing his books and did, like 50 books for him. But for me, I still type, and because the reason is by the time I do the OCR, by the time I do the transfer, I'm going to have to fix a bunch of stuff anyway. So I type everything still. So that's good. All right, thank you. Wow, thank you for the story. I hope you like the story. It is what it is. I can only tell you what I've done, right? Brian, hey, there's Brian. What are some of the live stream questions I'm using? So we're going to talk Brian into having a channel. By the way, Brian's in the comments here. There's a few people that have ordered styluses from Brian. He's going to work on a group discount for us for Lammies. He's got a side business that sells styluses. So Brian's in here. Brian, we're going to make you a celebrity one day. But anyway, so Brian, if anybody needs like styluses like a Lammy, what I've done is on my LinkedIn, even though I only check LinkedIn every couple days, I've actually hooked them up with Brian, and Brian's helped some people. So that's good. Idea for analog video, paper, and Mont Blanc. That's pretty cool. I love my Mont Blancs. I love them. Hey, JB, I'm watching from Disney. Came down to your state for a quick vacation. Awesome. Well, Disney's open, which is great. I hope you're enjoying Disney. That's about 4 hours north of me. I live about as far south as I can. And then when it gets cold here pretty soon, I go to my place in Colombia. Don't know if I'll go down to South America this year with COVID, but I do go back and forth a lot. And hopefully we'll now with the cameras and the videos I'm learning, I'll take you into my world a little bit, which will be good. You sold me on the paper. Okay, great. There are some issues. It's not the perfect device. Hope they get split screen working. I thought we'd have that this week. I think we'll have it next week. Keep an eye out. They have an update coming. I know that's in there. Are you going to review the Books Note 3 recent release? Sounds like a smaller Lumi. That would be a great review. I don't know if I'm going to review it. I think it's so close to the Note Air and the Lumi that it would just be the form factor, and they don't send them to me, so I got to buy them. So I'm building up another tablet budget. I do got to spend $1,000 on an iPhone. And then I bought a camera, which was a $2,000 investment. I've really been investing in the channel. I'm pretty even on the channel. I'm probably a little behind. I've spent probably $6,000 on camera equipment, another $4,000 on tech so far. And I've probably made, I would estimate, I'm going to make about $13,000, $14,000 the way we're going, maybe more than that, probably about $20,000. So in looking and budgeting out the channel, I'm about break even. I'm not really making money yet. But I've got to be real careful with what I'm buying because I'm trying to keep that business. I got a business mind, right? So I got to make the money and then I can spend the money. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Yes, I had to invest a little bit to get going, but now I'm like, hey, that money's got to come in. $1,300 last month. What am I spending it on? I'm going to get the iPhone, do some reviews on that, and we're going to start bringing some other stuffs in. I may get a free write. There's some things I'm going to buy, but I don't know about the Note 3. Thank you for that question. I'm done with the iPhone. I want a phone with a physical keyboard at this point. That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's the thing I love about tech. And what I'm trying to do with this channel is that I'm not here to tell you everything that you should buy. I'm here to help you look at these different devices and find what's best for you. We all have different brains. But the thing that's so cool is everybody here's so super smart. But I never want this thing to be like a Remarkable versus an Onyx thing. I know we get cognitive dissonance when we buy a product. If I only had the Remarkable 2, I would want it to be the best and I would fight for it. We're all brand loyal. But at the end of the day, we want to support each other in our quest for the perfect devices and the perfect organization. And for me, it's beyond the devices. My job as a coach and what I do in my life is to help people find freedom and peace in their life. I work on the skirts of the system to try to say, okay, how can we make money? How can we do it with integrity? How can I sleep good at night? And how can I live a great life? And these are just tools that allow me to do it and hopefully allow you to do it. And that's my prime motivation, is to help people find that peace. So they can say, hey man, I'm glad I met that JB guy because he gave me an idea that they weren't teaching in the schools. And the stuff that I teach is not in the schools. Intelligent life design, Sacred Six, getting things done. That stuff is so far away from the schools. What I teach you is get your skills, understand what you've got, and get productivity as productive as hell, and then start building your life. Continue to add skills. These tools just add to that. So it's awesome. I love it. I finally got my DHL notification, batch 5. Cheers from Alaska. Great to have you. So awesome having you in Alaska. Can you get it done work well for my dissertation plan? Yes. The Get It Done Now is about getting things done. So yes, it will work well for you. And I have the light version. Beth Ann, you're already in Morning Coach, so you'll get the light version. And I have an upper version that I'm going to do we got coaching and we're using a paper integration, which is really cool. But yes, anybody that's looking to get things done. And again, this is not a sales platform. I'm not going to go there. Obviously, I'm passionate about the things I create. But yes, it will help you, Beth Ann. Quick tip for prolonging nibs. See, here we go. Boom. That's why the subscribers are so awesome. MW had great results with the Proxxon, Proxxon power tool and grinding head attached. Set it to a very low speed and let every side of the nib slightly touch it for 5 seconds. Done. And I'm assuming that's like a Dremel, the Proxxon power tool, which I Dremel Neo's nails, my dog's nails. So I'm going to try that. And you just put a little sand on there and you just go around it. It would be the same thing. I'm assuming that's a Dremel tool. So that's great. Tomas says, suggestion for applying a screen protector. Use a cheapy hand applicator. It's a plastic squeegee. I got one. I still can't do it. I got one that's about this big. It's in the other room. I was looking for it. I got one. I'm trying. But I do have one. Look, here's the deal. Onyx, put them on at the factory. Okay, if you're watching this, anybody from there, just put your screen protectors on at the factory. That's the key thing. Hey, JB, what's your recommendation for a note-taking and PDF reading, no-image device between the RM2, the Supernote A5 A6X, and the Onyx Note 3 Air? Malcolm, I would probably push you up a little bit, depending on how big the PDFs are. I would go to the Lumi. Now, I will tell you, a sleeper in that is the Quaderno and the Papyr if they get their reader good. The Sony devices actually are great PDF readers. I think you need a bigger device if you're working with PDFs. That's why I don't like the Note 3 or the Note Air. It kind of squishes it. The Remarkable 2 is not a great reader. It works. But I would say the Lumi right now is probably the top of where I'm at because it's big and it just works for a PDF reader. Second choice would be the Papyr or the Quaderno. The Quaderno is actually a really great one. I mean, it works real well, but it's hard to get, right? It's a Japanese product. I think the Papyr is going to do a better job. I got to wait for this next update with their PDF reader. The problem with the Papyr is it splits all the PDFs up into their own file system. Then you work on it and then export it as a PDF. It's not a bad thing. It's just different. But I got to recommend the Lumi. I can't recommend the RM2. The Supernote A5 might work. I just haven't used it enough. So the A6X is way too small. You got pinch zoom, but it's way too small for PDFs. So maybe the Supernote A5 is a possibility, which I can't recommend because I don't have it. But the Lumi to me is by far the best PDF reader so far. I have a Surface Duo, also $1,400 US pre-ordered through a friend I know in the US and had it shipped to Belgium. Also tech geek and an early adopter, so I feel you. Awesome, Steven, that's awesome. I need to get a Surface Duo. I need to get some Samsung products. Those are coming into the stable pretty soon. JB has a LiveScribe on order. I did have a LiveScribe on order. They canceled it, so I got to get a new one. Brian, if you can, hey, Brian, hit me up in LinkedIn. If you can sell me a LiveScribe, let me know, will you? Because Amazon canceled mine. I learned that there are some paper-like screen protectors out there for iPads. Are they available to fit on e-ink tablets? Yes. So Paper-like is a company that a lot of people like to put on their iPads, right? And it does work. So if you're somebody that likes a matte screen, and can work on an iPad, man, that is a winning device. I'm sorry, I'm going to hammer all of us and say the iPad with the matte screen is awesome because the iPad's awesome. But I don't want a matte screen. I do not want it. So I pull that sucker off, and guess what? Now I'm writing on glass again. I don't want that. So if you don't mind that, that's fine. Now, here's the deal. If you want a better writing feel, you could take that Paperlike, you could cut it out, and you could put it on your Onyx product. Now, all of a sudden, you got a better writing device with the screen protector. Good possibility. I don't know if anybody's thought about producing those yet, like the Paperlikes for them, but that's a genius concept. I mean, I think it would work well. I know people are cutting them out and doing it, but I think it would work well. Graham says, Inks allows for amenability. Wow, that's a new word for me. I love that. Versus a Rocketbook. OCR. Smartest. We have the smartest subscribers, right? I'm always learning from you guys. Both have their purpose. Any comment? Ink versus the Rocketbook. So, Graham, again, OCR I don't use because my handwriting's so bad. Talked a little bit about it earlier. So I don't have a comment on that because I tend to type everything. I'm a really fast typer. So I type if I really need it done. I just don't like going back and correcting. Looking forward to know more about your system. Thank you. No problem. Go get dinner, Carlos. I've learned there are some Paperlike screen protectors. Yes, there are. They're good. There's Steven. I'd love to see what all devices the Paper will work with and have you maybe do a live session with it for some of your supporters. I get one if I could find out how it edits PDFs. Could you also show how to make a diary for the RM2? Yeah, those are some future videos. I like that, Steven. That's good. The PDFs are okay on the Paper. It really needs to get that better. I'm waiting for an update. I've told them, look, I said, if you can make the best PDF reader with that device, you're going to have a winner. Like, that's how you win. Like, you could beat other devices if you make a great PDF reader. Tina says, LL free ride. I saw an ad for it. Kind of piggybacking off Remarkable. I'm not a person who enjoys typing, so for me, it looks okay. Nah, it's okay. But I would have to check that out. And I'm just because I type books, like I'm writing my 5th book. I think it's my 5th. Might be I don't even know anymore. I've written so many ebooks. Do they count? I don't even know how many books I got anymore. But I'm writing books, and so I'm a writer. I was a C student, like a horrible writer. I don't even tell you how vulgar I am to my ex-principal, my grammar teacher in high school, because they said, you would never be able to write. You don't understand grammar. And now I'm a published author. I got paid to write. I'm having fun. I love it. Let's see. There was a YouTube topic on the Paperlike and the Lumi. There you go. Beth Ann, once again, home run. You were wrong about one thing, though. I am wrong about many things, Fatigue. I am very wrong on many things. You can always correct me. I can tell you in my last video, I did sleep versus power on from the Onyx, and it wasn't a fair test. I was wrong. So, but thank you. You can always ask me, Fatigue. You can always tell me. I am wrong about a lot of things. I can only tell you what I do and what I can so I can help you. TBH, the Remarkable Tool is performing just good enough as a reader for me. It's unfortunate that you're forced to use tooling like, Calibri or whatever we call that, Calibre. The DRM thing is just nuts. It doesn't work really well, that's for sure. But it's great to have everybody here today. I hope you're enjoying it and having some fun. It is about the energy. As always, I love to have everybody here and stop by on a Thursday. We've got a lot going on. I would like to hear Fatigue said I was wrong about one thing. I would love to know what that is, just because I will admit that I'm probably wrong about many things, but I'm here to help as much as possible and, use my experience to help you as much as possible. Camera's okay. What do you guys think? I'm thinking about going to Cam Link and trying to see. I'm actually using an LG 5K monitor here, and that's what I'm using to use. And I have an LG 5K monitor. I have 2 of them. I typically edit on one and keep my emails open on the other. And I use a MacBook Pro, one of the latest ones. And it actually drives the 5K monitors actually pretty good, which is kind of funny. And it works. And it allows me to kind of just use I have a Shure SM7B with a Rode Procaster that I use for my daily show. So I'm feeding the audio in there and using this camera. And I think it actually works okay. So it's working. All right, cool. So let's see. We got a few more questions, and then we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to head over to my massage and get ready for golf for this weekend. Huge tournament this weekend. I'm going to try to do some videos, guys. I try to do videos every day. Golf days get challenging, and sometimes I got to miss. And I'm going to try not to miss, but sometimes I do. Found it. Link above. Okay, great. Hi from Spain. What's your opinion of the Kobo app and the Max Lumi. Kobo app works, but I love my Kobo device. Somebody asked me that in the comments earlier today, and they're saying, could the Note Air replace my Kobo Forma? Nothing will replace my Kobo Forma. Just kidding. I love the form factor of the Kobo Forma. I leave it next to my bed. It's a $200 device. I think it's probably one of the best investments I ever made. I can't read the Lumi in bed. I can't even read the Lumi on the sofa. Like the Lumi to me is a device that sits on your desk and you work on it. Like it's for medical students and people that are doing big PDFs. It's just too big. Like you can use it as a second monitor. You can put it on a stand and you can work that thing and that'll work out really well for you, which is key. So definitely. It's a great device, but I don't think it can replace the Kobo. Also, real quick, kind of flashes a little bit. You got to change the light sensor on the reader, on the Lumi, but it works, okay? I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It's just not as good as an actual Kobo device. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Can you help me out with something? I always help people out. Any thoughts on AirPod issues? I have the AirPods, right? So I got the Pros as I drop it. It falls out of my ear a lot, and it's okay. I actually like the original ones that look like a snake out of your ear. They work a little better. I use these when I'm coaching in conference calls, and they work well. To be honest with you, my favorite AirPod issue is the Beats. Those are the ones that I like. I don't know if I'm answering a question, Beth Ann, or not, but I actually use these more than anything because I work out with them, and they have a loop around my ear, and I really like the deeper bass in them. They just work well. I'm not a huge fan of the Pros. For some reason, I've changed these out, and they still don't, they just fall out of my ear. They're okay. But it's not the most exciting thing for me. They're okay. That's what I'd say. Hey, man, found your channel. You recently helped me out a lot and decided what to buy. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks for being here, man. Because of you, I'm growing. 2 months into this thing. Really, almost a third month. Almost 11,000 subscribers, and we're having fun. I mean, I hope I'm bringing you good content. Oh, we got it. Thumbs down. Finally. Jeez, it took all day. Man, that usually happens faster than that. Chris from Hawaii. Who's the guy? That's Brian. He's in the comments, Chris. Okay, here's the deal. If you can't find Brian, you can go in the description in one of my videos, and I have my LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me a message. I'm not going to be on it today, but I will connect you with Brian. Okay, so you guys can get me on LinkedIn. I'm trying to build that into a YouTube hub. I'm just not there very often. But yeah, you can get to me, and I'll get you with Brian. He is in the chat though. Okay. Oh, I got 2. Wow, 2 negatives. That's just awesome. I love it. Ordered the RM2. That's great. Did you hear any rumors about the Pogo pin connectors are going to be used for? MW, great question. Okay, so the Pogo pin connectors on the RM2, I have heard what they're for. See that right there? They connect something to it as a reset. It's a factory reset. I'm sure it's going to be for some other things, but it is a factory reset. That's what it's for. Steven asks, am I going to get the Apple Silicone laptop? Probably. For me, time is of the essence. So if someone can increase my editing feed, I am going to definitely get the faster computer. I do like a laptop because I do travel with it. MW, have you heard anywhere? Okay, the Pogo Pin, we got that. My Note Air comes next week. You're going to love your Note Air. It's a great device. We just got to figure out the screen protector. Get a new stylus. I think it will help you, okay? You'll feel better about the device. I do prefer the Kindle Paperwhite. Yeah, I mean, reading, those Kindles are great. The Kobos are great. There is a difference. I know we're all looking for that one device to put everything on, right? And it is cool. Our OCD kicks in. But it is hard to get the perfect device. It's like the perfect camera, right? Is there any way to get info on the Remarkable Tools software roadmap? That's a great question. Remarkable isn't very forthcoming in their roadmap. They just aren't. So they try to keep it updated, sign up for their blog, but they aren't the most communicative company at all. So I don't think we can get more for it. Dude, you're awesome. Well, thank you for saying I'm awesome. I have 2 negatives. 2. Bam, they hit me down. I appreciate the awesome comments. I try to be nice and friendly to everybody. I've learned to just let the haters go. It's a challenging thing. When you put yourself out there, the one thing I'll always be is real, right? And you put yourself out there, you try to do something. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm just a regular guy like everybody else that's built a really kind of a cool business. And I'm really just trying to put good energy out there in the world. So it kind of sucks when people come by and they just hate and do stupid stuff just because, I don't know, I guess they're jealous or angry or frustrated. But I've learned to get over that. And I focus on people like you that say you're awesome because you're awesome. And I appreciate that. So thank you. They're exchanging pros for 2 issues. Beth Ann, thank you. I didn't know that. And maybe that's why I need to go get this exchange because I have a lot of issues. I'm going to check that out. Mirko says, is max looming according to you too big and not practical? Mirko, no, it is practical. I love the Lumi. It's just not practical to sit on I use my iPad, so I can't say that. I sit on the sofa and use the iPad. It's just not practical to read. Like, I wouldn't sit with the max. Think about it. It's this big. I got it in the other room. But it's like sitting there reading watching TV or something. This thing is just big, right? So think about the Max Lumi. It's actually heavier than this. So I wouldn't say it's not too big and too practical. It's a freaking awesome device. I just think it's more meant to be used on a desk. Like the old Onyx BOOX Max 2 I had a Bluetooth page turner. It was really cool. And I just read and I would just push the page as I was sitting at the desk. But to hold it and carry it's a little different. It's like an iPad, right? So if you're okay with the iPad and carrying that around, you'd be okay with the Lumi. But no, I don't want to say it's too big and too impractical. I just think there's other things that could do that. Just depending on what you want. Like if you are a PDF reader, medical student, or somebody that reads these big, long PDFs, I think it's a great device. Put it on the desk and do your research. But if you're somebody that doesn't need that kind of functionality, I think the Note Air or the Note is a perfect device for you, right? That would be the difference. Roger, hey, Roger, good to see you. Printing works on the Note Air. That's awesome. Pogo pin connectors for a keyboard. You don't need a docking system for a device that doesn't need much charging. So, yeah, I believe Fatigue says that the Pogo pin connectors will be used for a keyboard. I have seen a Reddit where it is used for a reboot of the system. They plug something to it and they do that. So I would work on that. Enrique, I'm a college professor now obsessed with the ink devices. I am too. If you have a topic, recommendation of device for academics, notes, PDFs, read PS, grad student writing, I'd love to hear it. iPad, awesome. Lumi, awesome. For PDFs, for all the above. I would go with those 2. And then coming down, maybe the Note Air and maybe even the 13-inch devices from Sony can work also. I'm screaming at the paper to get their PDF reader perfected because then they will really take the lead. But right now I have to say the Lumi, I would say you'd be happy with the Lumi, but you're going to need your professor mind to set it up because there's a lot of moving parts with it. But once you get that sucker dialed in, it's a great device. Outstanding, Chris. Thank you. I already have you as a connection. Okay, Chris, just hit me up with a message, will you? Say, hey, I need a Lammy. I'll try to get to it tonight. I'm kind of busy. I don't know if I'm going to be on the computer, but I'll probably be there tonight. I'll check in on LinkedIn. I'll get you with Brian. He's already got a couple people in the chat, Lammies. How does writing work if you are left-handed? Is that a problem? I have not gotten a lot of reports. I am not left-handed. So I have not gotten a lot of reports that it's bad. Obviously, it's different, right? It's different. But I have not gotten any reports that it's bad. Why do you like the Kobo over the Kindle? I like the Kobo form factor. The Kobo Forma, I need to do a video on this because I get that question a lot. It's just a perfect size. The Kobo Forma, is the perfect size. I just love it. And I moved to it. And the thing that I've learned is Overdrive. I'm going to do a video on Overdrive. It's only in the United States, I believe. But I can borrow library books. So I don't even pay for books anymore. It's right here. So I got a new book last night. The Only Good Indians. I'm into horror books, right? So I'm into horror. I read a lot of horror books. And it's just perfect form factor. And I use Overdrive. So I go to my local library on the device. I pick a book, and I got, until the middle of November to read it, a couple weeks. I read the book, give it back, and get another book. I don't mind buying books. I'm an author. I like to support authors. I do buy some, but I do like Overdrive in this device. Also, it works with Dropbox, and you can bring things on. I do have an Amazon. I do have an Oasis. I do have an Amazon account with tons of books on it. I just really, did I say really enough? Like the feel of this. I'm laying in bed. I like the screen type, the size. I mean, it's just perfect. Like, where's a regular book? I mean, you can see it's just like it's almost the same size as a regular book, right? Sorry, get that out of the light. So that's what I like. Me and my horror books and horror movies. Besides the nonfiction that I read. Okay, cool. Let's go. I'm finding an issue with the palm rejection on the Note Air. Yes, Beth Ann, I've had a little bit of an issue on that too. The Note Air is not none of these are the perfect device. Let's just say none of these are perfect devices. Have that. Watch a YouTube video with you being one of your speakers. It was about sucking fast. It was fun to watch. Yes. That is my day job, is speaking too. It's so funny. I saw your comment. Thank you for that. No, thank you. Sony has discontinued. I know, Jonathan. That's what sucks about the Sony products. They've discontinued. Fujitsu's a big company. Papyr's a cool company. The cool thing about Papyr, they built the Quilla. So I don't know if the hardware will just go away. I think somebody's going to support it. I hope so. Okay? At least we all hope so, right? So it'll be interesting. And I've talked to the Papyr about that. They don't really want to get in the hardware business. They're a Canadian company because they have the Quilla, which I have in the other room, the huge one. But it'll be interesting to see the support of that. Enrique, no problem. Fatigue, hey, Remarkable shows ads in my country but do not ship it. What is the alternative that ships worldwide? I think, hey, Fatigue, I think you can go to Good eReader. Some people give them a hard time. I don't have a problem with it. And you could try that out and see if Good eReader can ship you. If anybody can put in the comments how to get a Remarkable or another device outside the country, I know people are getting it done, right? They're doing it. So, but if we can help Fatigue, that would be great. Terrence says, I found that the Note Air screen share is pretty awesome. I really like the Note Air. I'm currently using the RM1, but waiting for RM2 batch 10. Yeah, it's going to be up to you. The Note Air does some cool things, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it gets to the point where you want multiple devices, but then you get confused. Which one to use for this or that? I know the feeling. I got them all. So they're all great devices. You just got to find what's best for you. What stylus do I recommend? I like the Statler, the big jumbo, digital jumbo. I just don't like the look of it. I'm not a big, it looks like a pencil, but I do like the Statler jumbo. And probably my favorite stylus is the Remarkable pen marker. I do like this. I like it a lot. It's thin, it just works. But if you like a thicker, and the Lammies are great. I mean, it just really depends on what you like to hold. The Lammies are good too. Statler, yeah, I was telling you, Statler's a big one. The big jumbo, I like that one. Must be your competitor, Steven says. Yeah, exactly. Give me the thumbs down. Yeah, I don't have any competitors, man. I'm having fun. I support everybody. I like Good eReader. I love Voya. Voya, I love to death. We're going to do some collab stuff in the future. But I just want to keep spreading the love. Fountain pens have a different community. You're so true. Can you sync the Onyx reader and your notes with the smartphone so you can have your notes across your other devices? I haven't done that, but I'm sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can. All the devices do a pretty good job with that. All right, cool. So we'll keep rolling. Coach, hi, Peter North here, old adult film star. Great content today. David Lee Ross' brother. I love it. That's so funny. Hey, I remember Peter North. That's funny. Hey, I'm 51 years old. I've been around the block a few times, maybe twice. So that's cool. Well, it's good to have you, man. It's awesome to have everybody here having fun and having a blast. I appreciate the thumbs up. I actually like the thumbs down, right? We're having fun. And as always, I really appreciate you being here. We'll be back next Thursday at 1 p.m. I'll have more for you. We're kind of in the middle of a delivery cycle, so there's not a lot of new stuff happening because everybody's getting their devices, but I'll try to answer some questions. Beth Ann, I will get on this AirPod discussion, and I'm going to be moving into some other areas. And I've got some stuff that I'm going to be bringing to the channel on spreadsheets and stuff that I think you're going to really enjoy on some of the other stuff I teach to help you really get things working. All right, guys, let's have a great one. I'm going to get going. I got a couple more things here. Peter North, wow, what a reference. I know, I saw that, right? Isn't that funny? Everybody's laughing. I was like, wow, that is funny. I mean, where did that come from? That's so awesome. You got to love life, guys. You got to love life. No matter what's going on in the world, your hair's going all over the place. People are giving you thumbs down. What are you going to do about it, man? I mean, just live life and have fun. David Lee Roth's brother, man, I wish I could be a front man back in the day like David Lee Roth. That guy could lead a band. That was when he was with Van Halen, I grew up to that stuff. That was pretty cool. But anyways, if money wasn't a problem, Air or Lumi, I'll answer a couple more questions. I'm out. Air or Lumi, I would go with use case. If you want a small device, go with the Air. It's a great device. I mean, it's the exact same device as the Lumi. If you have to read big PDFs, go with the Lumi. Money, no issue. It really doesn't matter. It's more important your use case. If you need big PDFs, get that. Go with the big one. If you don't need the big PDFs, then get the small form factor. You'll love the Note Air. You can carry it everywhere with you. I'm not a big fan of the case, but it works. Get a new stylus, and you're rocking and rolling. All right. Hey, thanks everybody. Lots of love to you. Go out and have a great week. As always, thanks for the support of the channel. If you don't mind liking, subscribing, commenting, those things, it helps us. And I'll keep bringing you stuff. I'll see you next Thursday. Go have a good one, everybody. Thank you for being here.